Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Proficiency Bonus. My name is Michael, your most humble and merciful dungeon master for this evening. Welcome to Delve and Dash. We are on episode number 7 tonight of this kind of short episodic campaign that we've been rolling through. And we're going to get a quick recap here in a minute. But first of all, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Dice Bard. You can type in !Dice Bard in the chat to get a link to their website where you can buy some really awesome dice and some other awesome D&D merchandise and materials. Don't forget to use the code PROBO in the checkout for free expedited shipping. So thanks a lot, Dice Bard. We appreciate you being a partner with us. And make sure you guys go get some dice from Dice Bard. But to do our recap once again this week, I'm going to open things up to our wonderful Stumpy from chat. Jamie, would you take it away for us to recap last week's episode?
Hello, my underlings. It's your overlord here. I am Stumpy from chat. So last time, we were running from a awoken tree that was trying to give us the good old smack. After a very eventful fight, we ended up making the tree laugh, setting it on fire, and viciously murdering it while it laid down. And then we ran inside the cave that we were headed to go see this random person that everybody's scared of. And we were exploring, and then the tunnel split 2 ways. Everybody went one way, and Vix went the other way because he's really curious. And then Silver followed him, upon which Silver startled him, and he screamed really loud and got all the monsters to come attack. We fought the monsters, we did some killing, and that's where we are.
That's pretty good summary there. I like that.
Thanks.
Well done. So, adventurers, you have just recently finished a battle with these grayish-scaled, large, muscular, lizard-like creatures inside this cave. The bullywogs are still both holding, these frog-like creatures are holding the hooded lantern that you guys had, Franklin had let them hold as he was going forward to help the rest of the party. It's really kind of...
I just don't think I ever picked it up.
Yeah, they kind of picked it up themselves, brought it with them. Some of you have taken a little bit of damage. Some of you healed back up. What is it that you guys would like to do at this point?
Silver's just quickly bandaging his wounds that he still has. So.
Okay. You guys see Silver kind of wrapping up his wounds with a little bit of some gauze wrapping.
How hurt are you still?
Almost about half.
Almost about half?
Yeah.
Okay, well then I'm gonna just cast Cure Wounds. You could heal up 12.
Oh,
Thank you.
Nice. So
That puts me at max.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want, this is an area where if you wanted to take a short rest or something like that, this is a kind of a larger chamber. It's creepy, it's dark, but you could risk it if you'd like.
I'm just out of wild shapes and I only used 1 spell. I'm good.
Okay.
I don't know if standing here doing
Yeah,
that.
I'd rather keep moving.
I'm so scared. There's so much that's happening right now.
Never trust the DM when he says you can do it at your own risk.
There's always a risk. There's always a risk. Short resting in a dark, evil, creepy cave, it's always a
I
risk.
vote we not short rest and just keep going.
Yeah, same.
Okay. So last time you guys were focused on following the frog-like creatures. They seemed to be following the same route as where it looks like some large creatures may have been drug through the cave. Are you guys going to continue? There was also that spot where you guys saw a part of the cave was piled up with dense pieces of wood, and it almost looks like somebody had blocked off part of this cave deeper on in. But it seemed like where the creatures were being drugged led you guys off to the east within the cave.
I mean, at this point, when we followed the frog creatures, we've been fine. When we went out on our own, not so much.
I say if we want to check that out afterwards, we could do that afterwards.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Safe. Following the frogs.
All right. So the frogs, they are still both looking at each other, holding on to the hooded lantern. They seem.
I'd take my lantern back.
One, you kind of almost have to like pull it out of his grasp. He seems to be like, he really likes this lantern, but you kind of looks dejected and depressed as you pull it away from him. He shrugs his shoulders a bit and kind of tugs at you a little bit in that direction where you guys were originally going in the first place, before Vix had wandered off following these sounds that he heard. And they continue to lead you guys through it converges, it's going to the east. You go through a small, kind of about 7 foot wide natural cave. It goes only about 15 or 20 feet or so. It starts to open up a bit and then it pinches back in. And it's about this time you guys feel like you're starting to turn more so as if you were headed. You're still going east, but you're headed more towards the front of the cave. You feel like you're headed in that direction from what you guys can sense. You guys start to smell these awful smells. And it smells like dung. It's cold, it's dark, it's wet in the cave. But you start to smell, the farther you go through this tunnel, the nastier it starts to smell. And towards the bases of the cave, as you start to shine the hooded lantern on those parts, you start to see remains and bones starting to line up in the bottom of the cave. You see what looks to be small rodent bones. You also see some that might be even more humanoid bones.
I sit on Raz's shoulders with my legs going on either side of her head, and I'm like holding her ears.
Okay. Okay.
But as I see the bones, I hold on really tight, and I just put my head down.
At that point, the two frog-like creatures both start to look at you, Raz. You can see up ahead, probably about 40 feet ahead. It looks like there's a natural pillar that kind of separates in a room in front of you. And seeing... Hey, thanks for the bits. We appreciate that you donated to charity there, Victoria. Thank you. You start to see that they start to get uncomfortable about the light being on. They start to turn to you and pull on your arm a little bit and start to point to the hooded lantern, almost like, and they start to croak at each other quietly, and start to like put their fingers up to their mouth like this.
I will lower it just so that there's just the tiniest sliver.
Okay, the frog creature to your left starts to buck up his shoulders like this, and he opens up his fingers really wide like this and starts going bah, 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 and then points forward farther into the cave where they're leading you. You think he's trying to mimic the things that you fought earlier.
I'm going to sort of take a step back. Does Silver have any kind of belt or anything on?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna grab your belt and then close the lantern because I can't see without it. I can't see without light.
No, I can direct you. I can just,
It's
also-
okay. I can't see in the dark either.
I can actually see normally if you want me to take the lead from here.
Yeah, that's.
I can follow you, and I can direct by pulling on the ears. Like,
Okay.
ooh.
The frog-like creatures seem to not be able to see as well. but they're familiar with this cave a little bit, so they'll still be able to go with Silver if Silver leads a little bit, but Silver, you're going to be able to see a lot better than they can.
Okay. Yeah, I'll lead.
Okay. So you guys start to lead forward, and as you do so, you start to hear what sounds like chopping. You start to hear growls. You start to hear some more of that familiar hissing sound that you've heard before. Some kind of deep snarling as well, coming from beyond this natural pillar into the next chamber.
I turn around and whisper to everybody, I think there's more of these creatures up ahead, so just be prepared.
Okay, we could deal with them like we did the rest.
Do we want to try and draw them into this room?
One of you wants to go ahead and see if you can sort of sneak to the edge and see where what the space ahead of us looks like.
Sure, I can attempt to do that.
I'll go with him as an attempt.
Are you guys want to sneak forward?
Well, I mean, frankly, you can't really see, correct? So I don't think there's a reason.
Just in case somebody shows up, I should be there to help.
I think Silver will be fine. How about right now? I think it's more important that we keep the frog creatures safe because they're our way out of this.
Okay.
So Silver, you're gonna slink ahead a bit and
see I don't want to go like too far away from the group, but see if I can just move up a little bit farther and see what's going on.
Yeah, to get to the pillar, you probably only got about 30 or 40 feet to get to this pillar, and it looks like the pillar is in the open chamber that's a little bit farther away from beyond where you're hearing the sounds. So you think you can get up to this pillar and kind of sneak up around it and look out. So go ahead and make a stealth check for me first.
All right. That's a 16.
16. Oh yeah, you do a really good job of making your way up there. You start to peek around this pillar, and beyond, what you can see that there are several of these lizard-like creatures, the same ones that you have encountered before with Vix leading the charge. You can see that there are two that are standing more so to the left. They are holding on to spears like the two that you fought before were. The spears look much like the ones that your frog-like friends are carrying. And it seems to be a couple other ones standing over two carcasses of giant crocodiles. And they are ripping and tearing into the flesh, opening up these crocodiles and peeling off meat from the crocodiles. And behind that, you see, so far you've seen 6 of them in the room. Behind that, sitting in what looks to be like a pile of mud and dirt, maybe even dung, is a little larger one. He's kind of relaxed, but you can tell that he's more muscular than the others. He's wearing a metal dented breastplate. And he's looking at this short sword, and he's just admiring it. And eventually, he's looking at it, hisses at it a little bit, and then licks it, and then takes it and kind of carves one of the legs off of the crocodiles that are sitting next to him. Seems like they're preparing this meat and they're ripping these crocodiles apart.
I'll just watch them, and then I'll slowly make my way back to the group.
Okay. Another thing about the room. The room is a very large room. It's probably about 80 feet in depth by about 60 feet. On the right side of the room, it looked like there were 2 natural pillars, one a little bit farther into the room than the other. And it looked like there was a large, maybe 40-foot opening to the left whenever you were looking into the room.
Just by looking, if I were to somehow destroy the pillars, would you think that would make the room collapse?
The pillars the pillars are pretty thick, and based on what you see, they don't look like they're holding up anything structurally. You don't think it would make anything collapse if they were gone.
Gotcha.
More so, maybe they could be used as cover or a place to hide if things got really bad.
Okay. Well then, yeah, I'll make my way back to the group. There's 6 of the creatures we fought, and there looks like to be one bigger one, maybe the leader. Was there any light in the room, or was it pitch black?
It was pitch black. It seems to be that these creatures don't need any light.
Of course, no light. There are a few pillars off the side, but I didn't see anything other than those 7 creatures, so I don't know. Try and draw a few of them this way, so we don't.
Was there anything flammable in the room?
Was there anything flammable in the room?
It's so wet in this cave. It might be pretty hard. You can see in a closer inspection that there's a little bit of like dead grass and things in this dirt that's all around, but it's so wet that you don't think anything would actually catch.
Okay. No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe if we have some kind of like oil or something, if you had something in mind, but I don't have anything like that.
More just light.
So, I mean,
Well, we should probably go take care of them.
Are there 2 lizards that are relatively close to each other?
there was some feeding, I think.
Yeah, it looked like there was a pair over one of the crocodiles and a pair over the other. And then the other 2 seemed to be to the left of the room, almost like they were guarding the 40-foot gap to the left. So they're like 40 foot apart. So those 2 were separate. But the ones that were harvesting the crocodile, there was 2 on each crocodile, and the leader was kind of like right in mingling with those 4.
I might have an idea if I could get close. Like 30 feet close. I might be able to make them fight each other. And that would be fun.
That
That'd be
could
good.
definitely be helpful. Do we want to go with that and just go run straight head first into him then?
Well, I gotta like sneak up on them.
Well, I mean, after you've tried your.
It's probably not gonna work, so yeah.
Okay.
Are you okay sneaking up there alone? Or do you want Silva to
Well,
go
I mean,
with
I
you?
can go with him.
I think I can do it.
I think I'd still want to go with you just in case.
Okay. All right, let's do. You can do this, Vix. You can do it. You can
I
do
sort
it.
of reach behind me and lift you off of my shoulder.
That's so good.
And you all just be close behind.
Okay.
All right, Vix, how do you plan on doing this? Because in order to get within 30 feet of these guys, you're going to have to be pretty close. I mean, the room opens up and it's probably about 50 feet before you can even get in range, because this is like an 80-foot room and they're on the other side.
How close is the nearest dung pile?
Probably about 20 foot to the right towards where the pillars are. It's not a huge dung pile. You may be able to hide behind it, but it's going to be difficult. And it is rank. I mean, it smells awful.
I disguise self as a lizard person.
Oh, nice. So you guys watch as Vix transforms into one of these gray lizard like creatures. How tall can you make yourself appear?
Not tall.
Because they are about 6 foot tall at least. They're about Silver and Franklin's height.
So at max, I can be 3'5".
They can. Oh, the lizard folk creature
No,
you're Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Me.
So you are a 3 foot and a 3.5 foot version of this. Okay.
I'd still try to sneak in though.
Okay. You're still trying
I'd
to
get behind a pillar if I could, if it's within 30 feet.
Okay, you have about 40 feet to get to the first pillar, so go ahead and make your stealth check. Silver, are you going in behind him, or are you going to
Yes.
just let him go? Okay.
I was definitely going in behind him.
I also just blindly follow them, trying to be sneaky.
Okay, go ahead and make your stealth check. Raz, you're watching as Franklin just follows along, follows suit right behind the rest.
I got an 8.
You got an 8.
13.
A 13.
I got a 15.
Wow.
And I would have followed if I saw
Oh,
going.
okay.
I got a 8.
As each of you start to
23.
walk forward,
I got a 23.
23. As each of you walk forward, the frog-like creatures seem to be like looking at each other, like stunned, like you guys are just like walking into the room. It's like, they're gonna go ahead and sneak in the room as well. They both rolled 2s.
Great.
So actually, if it weren't for Vic's his stealth roll, you guys would have been okay. But they immediately notice Vix as a gray lizard folk looking exactly like them, but really short. Make a deception check for me, Vix.
20, not natural.
20.
Dang.
One of them seems to be just head tilted looking at you. The rest of you seeing this, I would imagine, since your stealth rolls are so good, just kind of like stop in your tracks and are just like watching it all take place. And
Yeah.
I want to go bap the big boss one.
you want to go bap the big boss one?
Yes.
So you're charging into the room?
Well, when I get within 30 feet of him, yeah.
Okay, well you're still a good like 50 foot away from him at this point.
Well, I'll keep slowly walking.
Okay. All right, so you're walking forward? All right.
Yes.
So they see this massive turtle creature walking into the room, and all of a sudden just, and then they just.
I thought I was sneaky, though.
Well,
They saw me.
I think, the other point is these two frog-like creatures were like slipping and sliding on dung behind you, and were making a bunch of noise behind you as they were approaching as well. One of them probably slipped and fell and landed and dropped his spear and all kinds of messed up stuff, as they're already suspicious of a 3.5 foot tall version of themselves coming in the room. Roaring
At the turtle. At the turtle.
So go ahead, everybody, and make an initiative roll for me as we get ready for this encounter.
17.
20.
Wow.
30.
11.
8.
Raz had a 20.
Mhm.
Okay, what did you have, Silver?
11.
11. What did you have, Franklin?
17.
17. And you had an 8, Biggs, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. Franklin with a 17. We had Silver with the 11. Okay. Put these guys on. And I'll get your bullywog friends here. Alright, let's go give us some battle music. Here we go. Let's get some good battle music going on for the stream, everybody. Alright, first up, Raz, you're seeing these things looking mighty aggressive. You've seen this before. That was perfect timing.
Beautiful battle
Yes,
music.
that works perfectly. Alright.
The first thing I'm going to do, since they've noticed it, is just raise the hood on the hooded lantern. Like, I need light to see.
Alright, yes, the light has reached out to all the corners of the room and has illuminated this place. Yeah, you're good.
Good. So how close are they to us?
You're about 50 feet away from them.
Okay. I'm gonna shoot my short bow.
Okay.
That's all I ever get to do.
Because that's what rogues do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a dirty 20.
That will. Which one? Which one? What? Yeah. Any of them?
Yeah.
Okay. You're hitting one of the ones that was carving away at the alligator or
Perfect.
crocodile. Go ahead and roll your damage.
That is 7.
7
I'm
points?
assuming I don't get sneak attack because of our ruckus.
No, there's a lot of ruckus and there's nobody next to him, so.
So 7 damage.
7 damage. All right. Excellent. Cool.
And I'm just gonna kind of... There's not really anywhere for me to hide since I'm holding a light, so...
Yeah. It's hard to do that, yeah. All right. Are you going to move farther into the room, or are you going to kind of stay put where you're at?
How far are we from the pillar?
You're probably about 30 feet away. You'd have to move to your right a bit, but you could get there probably with your whole movement.
And how far away are they from the pillar?
The pillar's... It's to the right, but it's central to the room.
Okay.
So it'd probably be about 30 feet from them, too. To get to the pillar, you have to move a little bit closer to them.
Yeah, I'll go to the pillar.
Okay, so you head to the pillar. Cool. If they were to take ranged attacks at you, basically what I'd do is I'd grant you a +2 to your AC, kind of ducked behind that pillar a little bit, kind of like two-thirds covered, whatever. Okay, cool. That brings us up to Franklin. You're actually next to go.
Okay, so I'm still like 50 feet away, you said, right?
Yeah, still about 50 feet, yep.
Okay, well, how many of the lizard men can I get in a 20-foot, like, burst?
In a 20-foot burst? You could get... The guards on the left are a little bit too far apart for you to get both of them. You could get 2 of the ones that were carving on either crocodile and the leader.
I want to do that as I cast Entangle. They all need to make
nice
strength saving throws.
Strength saving throws. Excellent. Okay. What's the DC on this?
Whatever my spell DC is, which is 14.
14. All right. The leader rolled a 12, so he is entangled.
That's...
That's a 12 as well. I rolled 3 12s.
Good.
All of them are entangled.
Okay, that means that they are restrained and cannot move.
All right, and they can make the check again to try to break free, right?
Let's see. Yep, they can make more strength checks to get out.
Does that do any damage to them?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so you guys watch as Franklin holds his quarterstaff towards these creatures, and all of a sudden, out from underneath all the dung and mud that's in the room, these vines start to just protrude up and wrap all around their legs and arms, and you can see that they're fighting away from these vines and leaves and things as it wraps around them.
That 20-foot area is also considered difficult terrain.
Okay.
And then I will move 30 feet up and cast Shillelagh, because that's a bonus action.
All right, is Shillelagh a cantrip?
Yes, it is.
All right, there you go. So you got now all of a sudden your staff is covered in those vicious vines once more.
That's the point.
The leader gets to go now, and he is really upset that he is entangled in these vines, and he can't see very well, and he is going to try to break free of the vines because he has to use his action to do so. So he's going to try to just strength and muscle his way out, as he is still entangled. So he is trapped there and cannot do anything else. Actually, wait a second. He does have one ability. Okay, he's going to look at the one that was shot by Raz. And you watch him as he starts going to this other one. And the other one looks like it's getting extremely angry. It's almost like he was able to speak something to this other one. And that ends his turn. Silver, you're up.
Alright, I'm going to cast Armor of Agathis on myself.
Okay.
As my action. And then, where is Vix in relation to the other people he was sneaking up on?
He's only about 10 foot ahead of you, if that.
Well, I'm going to move up probably about 10 feet in front of him, kind of make sure they go after me instead of him first.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Definitely.
That's going to be my whole turn because I don't have anything.
Okay,
with
so
bonus action.
Vix, you watch as Silver steps in front of you, his armor now glazed with that familiar icy look that you've seen before. And next up, you can see that the other creatures, they get to move and they get to act. So the one that was attacked by Raz looks extremely mad and starts charging towards, starts charging towards Franklin. Another one charges towards Franklin. And the other two are going to try to rip out of their bindings that Franklin has set up. One actually gets free. So uses his action to break free and then starts rushing towards Silver.
Difficult terrain.
Yes, so he's kind of held up a little bit. So he won't get the Silver. And the other one rolled a natural 1 to try to get out. So he is still trapped, entangled. So one is no longer entangled and headed towards Silver. The other two that were kind of guarding the other side are rushing as well. You can see Franklin is a little bit over to the left from where you guys are. So one of them is actually rushing towards where saw Raz shoot. And the other one is headed towards Franklin. But they can't get to you guys in a single round, so they're going to dash. And that will be their entire turn. There will be 2 attacks against Franklin this round. And these guys got multi-attacks, so they're going to try to claw and bite you.
Okay. 19.
19? Okay, the claw, the first one, scrapes off of your shell. And the bite of the first one is also bites into your shell. Your shell seems to be taking all of the damage so far. This other one that the leader kind of mocked or gawked at a little bit seems to have a more intensity to his strikes as he leaps up at you and tries to claw you. That one might get you. 19 on the nose for the.
Well, all he has to do is match, so he hits me.
So that's a slash with the claw. So that's 4 points of slashing damage to you as it rakes against your left arm, and his bite is going to miss terribly. As you kind of drift back from that, taking that damage, you just feel the air of the snapping of teeth beside you as it's unable to connect. Now that ends all their turns, and that brings us to Vix. You're up.
I'm gonna scurry up onto Silver's back, onto his shoulders, grab my staff from my back with both hands, and slam it down onto the thing's head. They're right up on it.
Okay. Sounds good.
And I have pack tactics.
You do have pack tactics, so you have advantage on your roll. That's right.
That's 18.
That will hit. You can roll your damage on that attack.
6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. Very nice. Yeah, you can see it stumble back a little bit. It reaches up and holds its head. You can see a little blood start to drip down from his brow. Anything else?
No. Well, you can do it, Raz, and I give Raz inspiration.
Is that a D6?
Yes.
D6 inspiration dice for you, Raz, on any attack roll, skill check, or saving throw, I believe. Cool. All right. So next up on our list is our frog friends. So one of them being back in the back of the room is going to rush up to the one that's headed towards Raz. And the other one's going to rush up and stand right next to Franklin. Spear in hand, two-handed. He's going to try to thrust one of the ones in front of Franklin. And one of the frogs is actually standing in between you and the approaching one, Raz. Like it rushed up to meet it before it got to you. And rolls a 16. that will hit. And the second one, unfortunately, Franklin, your size is still quite intimidating to these frogs. They still don't know if they can trust you after you whoop them a little bit, and that nervousness has caused it to miss. its attack. But this one will do... Wow. 6 points of damage to the one coming after Raz. This one runs up, meeting it halfway as it's coming towards you, Raz, and drives its spear into its gut. You can see that this creature looks down at the frog in almost an intimidating way, like trying to get it to move. And that brings us to the top of the order with Raz.
How close did the one get to?
Close did the one get to you?
Yeah.
Probably about 20 feet away from you.
Okay. I'm gonna shoot it again.
All right. And technically, you have a frog ally within 5 feet.
Huh? That is a 22.
Yes, of course.
75? Yeah, 22.
Yes, that will strike it right in the neck.
5 plus another. Oh, 6. That is 11 points of damage.
All right, you guys watch as an arrow comes sinking into the center of this one's neck. It goes, it just puts both of its claws like up on its neck, drifts back a bit, and then just falls over in a pile of dung. Done.
Okay, Michael.
Yeah.
Entangle is a concentration spell, and I did make my concentration check.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome. I forgot to roll it when I got hit, and I rolled it a little bit ago.
So I forget to check on spells on what's concentration and what's not, so that's cool.
I don't normally play spellcasters, so...
Yeah. Got it. Cool. Franklin, you're actually up next.
Cool.
Unless Raz was moving, I didn't. Are you gonna stay put?
No, I'm good behind my pillar.
Behind your pillar, gotcha.
You said that there are like 3 on me right now?
There are 3 on you. One of them has an arrow sticking out of it, and is really mad. The other 2, one of them has a spear. The other one is just trying to claw at you.
Okay, so the one that's really mad, which is the same one that hit me, right?
I think so. Yes, that's the one that hit you.
I'm gonna attempt to hit him.
Okay.
Does a 19 hit?
Yes, that will hit.
And that'll 9 damage.
9 damage. Yeah, you swing across, you uppercut the thing with the end of your staff, watch it lift up off the ground, and then land back behind you motionless. Your frog-like friend who's standing next to you with the spear looks up at you and goes, "Rat!" and gives you like a thumbs up.
Okay, and then I will take 2 attacks of opportunity as I go toward the boss.
Okay. So you're going to barge right in between these guys and start heading towards the entangled?
I'm just going to go.
It's difficult terrain for you as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You're not going to quite get to him this turn.
Mm-hmm.
Because you attacked, so you won't be able to dash.
Yeah.
Okay. So here comes 2 attacks. They're just going to try to... One's going to try to spear you, one's going to try to claw you. You got it. A spear and a claw. The spear actually hits. And does 4 points of piercing damage as it rakes across your thigh.
I make my concentration check.
Alright, and you just get to the part where you're just starting to weave through your own vines, headed right to the entangled boss-like creature stuck in there. Cool.
Okay, and that's my turn.
Alright, that brings us to the leader, who sees you coming and is looking right at you through the vines, tries to break free again, and fails. Still entangled, cannot move, cannot do anything, just hissing at you. Let's see if, I want to see if his feature recharges. It does. So he's going to, he can't. They're no longer within 30 feet of him. So he can't do that. All right. So that brings us to Silver.
I'm just gonna take out my scimitar and attack this one that's in front of me.
All right. Sounds good.
That is a 17 to hit.
That will hit.
And that is 10 points of slashing damage.
Yeah, it stumbled back a little bit, holding its head, a little bit of blood from where Vix attacked to it. And you just bring the scimitar across its chest and watch as it just reaches back to its chest, blood pouring out. It falls to its knees and then falls dead in front of you.
I just raise my hand up to get a high five from Vix.
High five.
Then I'm gonna move up to the next nearest enemy if I can.
The next nearest enemy would have been one that was encountered with Franklin until he just barged through. So maybe about 20 feet to your left, or you could go to the one that's probably about 40 feet away from you that's still entangled. But it's your choice.
I'll go the ones closer to Franklin.
Okay.
Since there's so many people there.
All right, so you come over, and I imagine that Vix is riding along for the
Probably.
trip. Excellent. Anything else that you would do on your turn?
Nope, that's it.
All right. So it's the rest of the troglodytes' turn, these lizard-like guys. So the one is going to try to break free of the entangle. And is actually going to break free with a 15. So the one kind of breaks free and starts to head towards Franklin. Cannot do anything, but heads towards you, kind of crawling through the difficult terrain of the vines. Silver, as you approach the one, he turns around, he tries to claw and bite at you. That is, the claw is going to rake across you and hit for 4 slashing damage. Is it 18 going to hit you? With Armor of Agathis on?
Yeah.
Okay.
That just gives me extra HP.
Okay, so yeah, you will take 4 points of slashing. And doesn't it do damage to the creature? Cold damage?
Yeah, it does, I think 5 back or...
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, it does 5 back. So long as you have that temporary hit points, it'll keep doing that.
All right.
Yep, I have 1 left.
You have 1 temporary hit point left?
Yep.
Okay, it tries to bite you as well. It rolls a 17. Does that hit?
Yeah, that
Okay,
hits
so you take 4 piercing damage as well. And it takes 5 points of cold?
5 more points of gold.
All right. You can see as this thing bites onto you and all this cold energy is just blasting back at it. It stumbles a little bit away from you. You can see its jaws are almost frozen. It looks like me coming out of the dentist office. It's just like grabbing its teeth. It's a terrible feeling of cold on its teeth.
And then Armor Agathis goes away.
Okay. The cold dissipates. The other one that was attacking Franklin actually tries to reach up towards Vix and spear Vix and then bite him as well. Does a 15 hit you, Vix?
Of course it does.
So you're going to take 4 slashing damage. Or no, that would still be piercing because it's a spear. So 4, and it tries to bite you, but since you're a little bit elevated on top of Silver, it's unable to get a grasp on your arm as it's trying to bite at you.
All right.
Okay. Cool. So we've got those 2 are dead. I think that's it for all the ones that can actually do something. Because of that entangle spell, which was clutch. Vix, it's actually your turn.
I'm gonna leap off of Silver's shoulders and hit the one that was hurting Silver.
All right.
With both hands on my staff.
It's still holding its cold covered teeth. You can see it has like just icicles, like its drool turned to icicles on its mouth.
That's a 20 to hit.
Yes, absolutely. That will hit.
7 points of damage. Max damage.
Max damage for you as you leap off with your staff and you slam down. You can see the icicles of drool just shatter and go flying into different places. Some of its teeth actually shatter out of its mouth as it stumbles back and just flops onto the ground. Unconscious, motionless.
I land on the ground and then I push myself under Silver's legs to hide.
Okay, excellent. Very cool. The frog-like creatures go. One of them is going to rush up to actually the one that was trying to spear you, Vix. It rushes up and tries to spear that one, and unfortunately that one's too quick. It dodges out of the way. The other one that was down by Franklin is also going to head that way and just try to attack that one as well with a spear. Unfortunately, this one is just too agile for them to hit. It's just weaving back and forth, dodging their spear attacks. That's it for them. Raz, you're up again.
How close is one to me?
Probably the closest one to you would probably be the one that's engaged by the frog creatures, but you can also see that there's one headed towards Franklin that's broken free from being entangled.
Is it within 5 feet of him?
It is. Are you being... You're being such a rogue tonight.
Isn't that the point?
Exactly.
I'm gonna shoot at the one going at Franklin.
Okay.
He has Healy spells.
Yeah, Franklin looks focused. He looks like he's headed right to the big cheese. He is headed
And
right.
I'm gonna use my D6 inspiration on my attack roll.
All right.
Yeah!
Excellent.
Which brings it to a 16.
That will hit. You can roll your damage plus sneak attack.
Oh, yes. 3 plus 3, that's 12.
12. Okay. Franklin, as this thing is approaching you, you can see all of a sudden at the side of its neck, an arrow goes and just sticks into the side of it, and it starts like reaching at vines. It's going reaching at vines. It still has a little life left in him, and he's crawling, like grabbing a vine and just moving closer to you, Franklin. What? Anything else you'd be doing, Raz?
No, I'm good.
You good? Staying there?
I'm good.
All right. Franklin, you're up.
How far away is the boss from me?
The boss is about 10 feet away from you, still entangled, but you've got one of those very hurt lizard creatures right next to you with an arrow stuck in his throat. Looks like he's starting to like cough up blood, but he's looking right at you, doing whatever he can to get to you.
Okay, I'm just gonna move up to the boss.
Okay, it's gonna take a swipe at you. The one
And
next
then I'm
to
gonna
you.
hit him.
Okay, well the one tried to swipe at you and he just cut a few of the vines and missed you completely. He is so disoriented right now, trying to breathe with this arrow in his neck. And you can make your attack.
Well, I crit. 22 damage.
22. Go ahead and describe how you kill the boss in one hit. No joke, he has exactly 22 hit points. Exactly.
I wasn't expecting that. So what I do is I go and I, like the vines go away from him just as he like breaks out of the vines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just too late as I come and just crack him right across the neck. Really bad bruising. We all hear that disturbing cracking noise as he falls to the ground.
And he kind of hangs there because he's still like entangled in the vines a little bit. So he's completely dead, but he's hanging in this terrible terrain inside this cave.
And then I turn around and look at the other lizard.
The other one just kind of looks at you. He's bleeding. And then he starts to turn around a little bit. It would have been the leader's turn, but he is now dead. Silver, you're up.
I'm gonna attack the one that's in front of me, the one that try to hit Vix.
All right, you got it.
That is 17 to hit.
That will hit. You can roll your damage.
And 9 points of slashing damage.
9 slashing. He looks badly injured by your slashing attack, but he is still standing. He's kind of slunched over a little bit, still slouching, and he's got that spear in his hand.
Then I'm done.
You're done? Okay.
Yep.
All right, it's their turn. There's only 2 left. One is going to use its movement to crawl out of the difficult terrain. He looks around. Starts dashing towards the exit area. Technically, Raz, he's going to go right beside you. So if you'd like to make an attack of opportunity, you may. It would have to be a
why not?
melee attack.
That's fine.
Because he's not even looking at the pillar, he's just running right by it.
I can hit him with a dagger.
Okay.
I'm assuming a 21 hits.
Yes. 21 is gonna hit.
Gotta check.
You
know?
guys are rolling incredible. Like, you guys could have killed an ancient dragon tonight or something. It's like-
Well, I rolled like my maximum possible damage output on that crit.
So as this.
He takes 4 damage.
He only needed to take 1. So
okay.
as he's like going as fast as he can with this arrow sticking out of his throat, hanging on to life, he's all of a sudden Raz
just stick my hand out
sticks
and
in and just runs into it, and you just watch his eyes just go and just falls over next to you. Very nice. The other one is just going to go ahead and attack Silver with a spear. Is going to miss, and a bite is... What is your armor class?
15.
Well, that one might get you. That one is going to get you for 4 piercing damage as it lashes onto your forearm with its teeth.
I growl back at him.
It seems to be a little bit shocked that you just growled back at it. It lets go of you and just looks at you. Looks back at Vix. Vix, it's your turn.
I hit it in the knee with my staff.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack.
That's a 14 to hit.
14 is going to hit. You can roll your damage.
0 damage.
What? You did.
I rolled a 1 minus 1.
You did
There's always
0.
a minimum of 1.
Is there a minimum of 1 in the?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
0
always a
damage
minimum.
is
Unless you,
funnier. Can we go with 0?
Well, 1 is kind of the equivalent of 0. I mean, it definitely doesn't go down. So, Silver, as you're watching, Vix is going, like growling at this thing, and then swings over with his staff, brings it down, and hits the knee, and it just looks down at its knee, looks back up at Vix, looks down at the knee, kind of rubs it just a second, and then looks back at Vix and just... The frog creatures, they get to go. They're going to try to spear attack this one. That will hit. And that will also hit. As this one, it seems to be just occupied with Vix right now. You watch as both the frog creatures look at each other and go, right, and they just run at it with both spears, like in both hands, and just drive both spears through his gut. And surprisingly, they both together lift it up off the ground, and it slides down the spears a little bit, and they slam it down onto the ground, and it is completely destroyed and dead on the ground in front of them. That takes us out of initiative order, folks, as they're all dead.
so 12 hit points, that's 1 above my halfway point for damage. So I'm going to use my last cure spell on myself.
Okay. Right, so Franklin is feeling much better as he recites his druidic incantations
I
to
heal 8.
his wounds.
Look down at Vix, make a good team, and I give him another high five.
The bull,
Yes.
the frog creatures jump back and they got their spears looking at Vix.
You all scare very easily.
Can I see any other ways, like, out of this cave? Or...
Oh, and I'm sorry for my Twitch people. I forgot to put the image on of what these things actually look like. There it is. It'll be on there now. I'm sorry, now that they're dead. Way to go, Dungeon Master Michael. You were so off the beat tonight. What would you like to do, Raz?
is there, like, any other ways out of this cave? Or are we, like, does this seem to, like...
Back
You said the leader was
behind.
a male.
Go ahead and make a.
and
Go ahead
we're
and make
looking
a.
for a Miss May.
Go ahead and make a perception
So-
check.
That's a 19 plus something.
Okay.
5. 24.
Behind.
I really like this dice.
Yeah,
tonight.
you're. Yeah. I need to purchase a dice like that.
It's bright and orange and fun.
Nice. Behind the pillar that you were hiding behind, you can see there is it looks like 2 openings that lead off. But much like that path before, these have been blockaded with wood and rubble and all kinds of different things. So it seems like something has blocked these 2 tunnels leading farther off into the depths of the cave as well. But you notice that 40-foot opening that led towards where, kind of going in the direction of the opening, it leads off into another chamber and appears to go to the left whenever it comes out.
I'm gonna look at the frogs, sort of point at each one with like a questioning look when I point at each one, like that one? No. That one? No.
Do you still look like one of the gray lizards, Vix? Are you still rocking that disguise? Okay, I was just making sure. They look towards you. They're seeing what you're trying to communicate to them. They point towards the blockaded area, and they start shaking their heads no. Right. And then one goes like this and goes... right at Vix. And
take it there are snakes that way.
and then the other one the other one goes for the lantern that you hooked onto Silver's belt. Just leans down next to it and starts going like flashing a bunch of light like around everywhere. And then the one jumps away, jumps towards the light that he's flashing and goes as they're pointing towards that blockade. But then they go and they point towards the big opening that turns to the left, and they start kind of like waving you that way.
There's a rave behind the barricade.
Yeah, it's H2O. That was fun. Let's go to the water park.
Well,
Continue to follow the Froggy Boys.
All
I want to
right.
look for that short sword and also see what kind of armor the big guy was wearing.
Oh yeah. Is that spell something you can just dispel away, Franklin, or does it just linger?
Oh yeah, I just stopped concentrating on it.
Okay, so all the vines kind of just dissolve or protrude back into the floor and things like that. Okay.
Then I'll cast Mending on the dented breastplate and hand it to Silver.
All right. It seemed rather tight on this creature, but you're able to squeeze it off. One thing that you guys notice about it has a symbol on the front of the breastplate. It's a very nice breastplate, especially after the mending spell fixes some of the dents. It has some claw marks in it that resemble the claws of these creatures. The really nice breastplate. It doesn't look like it was meant for this creature, but it has like a gauntlet symbol on the front of it.
Okay.
And the sword, as you pick up the sword, you notice that it has Dwarvish engraving all through the blade. It looks like a very fine Dwarven-made weapon.
Okay. Well, I will pick up the sword and kind of like put the breastplate over my shoulder because I'm not gonna be able to fit that in a backpack.
Yeah.
I would very much like a breather if everybody's okay with that. Maybe go back out to the front of the cave
Okay.
as I'm bandaging up another bite wound on my arm.
Silver's been getting bitten up pretty bad in here.
Get better AC, son.
Or more health. I mean, I'd rather not lose the progress we've made, but it's not worth one of us dying.
I mean, if we really feel like keep going, I can make do. It's just
I'm okay either way, honestly. But did you see that? I hit him in the head with my staff, and he died.
I saw that. That was very good.
Pretty great.
Whoa!
See, Vix, you're more powerful than you think you are.
Whoa!
I would just try and find an area to put the breastplate down then, without it going into like a pile of dung.
That's almost impossible here.
I'll take it outside of this room then.
Okay.
Put it in the room previously.
Gotcha.
And then walk back to them.
Yeah, these creatures like to live in filth. You think possibly it deters other creatures or anything from raiding their lair if they put dung everywhere, which there's dung like even like scraped onto the walls of this place. Like, it's gross. And you guys watch the two frog-like creatures that you were at. They're next to that leader, and one of them's like looking down at it with this terrible look, as it's just the leader's just lying there, and it's just like, and then it kicks it in the head. Its dead body, and they're just both like looking down at it like they absolutely hate this creature.
I wander over.
So do I, and I'm gonna grab one of their spears from them, and then I'm just gonna plunge it into the guy, and then let them do their own thing with it.
Okay, you plunge it in the guy. As soon as you grab that one, he kind of looks at you awkwardly as you grab it, like you're gonna hit him with it, and you stick it down in, and the other one's like, and just starts going with his spear like down into the guy.
They'll tire themselves
I
out
cast
eventually.
Mage Hand and make a stop sign in front of its face.
Yeah,
Okay.
I walk over there and grab the spear.
Yeah.
There's no reason for this. I
I
take
push
the spear away
it.
from him.
Push its face with Mage Hand. I just moosh it. I moosh its face.
After you do that, one of them kind of walks over to the edge, grabs one of the spears that the other one had, picks it up, walks it over to you, Silver, and like thrusts it kind of into your hands and gives it to you. And then the other one goes over and somewhere some of those bones were piled up, grabs a skull and picks up a skull and walks it up to you, Vix, and kind of thrusts it into your hands. And the skull looks a little frog-like.
Like I said, they'll tire themselves out eventually.
But it's monstrous to be so destructive.
We could let them be while we rest.
You honor dead. You don't constantly stab dead.
I think they have had a lot of interaction with this creature.
I
I'm guessing.
put the skull on my head like a hat.
One of them actually looks at you and goes and smacks it off of your head. It goes flying and
Well,
rolling
why'd you
across.
give it to me if I can't have it?
It just
I think
turns
they
away and
want
just
you to
stomps away.
understand.
It's not
This-
very respectful.
I'm guessing this creature has killed a lot of them.
Franklin, feeling bad for these frog people, is gonna remove the head of the troglodyte and give it to them as a trophy.
Okay. Franklin has carved the head off of the troglodyte leader and presents it as a gift to the frog-like creatures.
Vix angrily walks off. He's going down a tunnel by himself. I don't know. One of the tunnels.
I'm following Vix.
There's the tunnels that led you here, and there's the tunnels that kind of move where the frog-like creatures were saying to go. The only other tunnels there are the blockaded ones right now.
Well, let's go ahead and continue forward.
Okay.
I go to one of the blockades and I just start moving little things that I can move.
Okay. Make a perception check while you're there.
It's not good. It's like a 7.
Well, it's a very easy check. As you're removing some of the materials, you're not with your small figure. You're trying to remove some of this rubble. Some of it's a little bit too big for you to move. You feel like you might need the help of a Silver or a Franklin to remove a lot of these bigger pieces. But as you break through a little bit, you can see coming from beyond there is a faint purple glow. inside the other part of the blockaded part of the chamber.
Like a candle?
You're not 100% sure. You've seen a purple glow from a candle possibly before. This one doesn't look like an orange fiery glow, but just a faint purple glow.
I just keep silently trying to dig myself a hole to get through.
Okay, all right. Silver, you said you were going to carry on forward?
Well, if I see him doing that, I'll go over and help him move that, but...
Okay.
Guys, maybe we shouldn't expose the place that supposedly has snakes in it?
There's a glow!
We can come back after, Vix, and check this out.
I
Okay.
think we should either go back and rest or go forward.
Okay.
I guess either is fine, but let's just... I don't want to be in this room anymore.
Yeah.
Does smell pretty bad.
Vix is used to this smell.
As you guys are kind of going, getting ready to leave the room, you guys notice that there is, underneath one of the piles of dung that Silver kind of almost tripped over as he's moving around the room, there seems to be what looks to be an old explorer's pack. And inside it, there are several coins contained within inside. And there are about 5 crudely made, what would appear to be potion bottles. But they're carved from wood, and they're corked at the top, so you can't see the substances inside.
Could I make a nature check to identify them?
You could, a nature check would determine if they're a natural substance or not, but it probably wouldn't. You need to identify or use a short rest to identify what they are. You guys could identify them during a short rest if you wanted to.
Yeah,
I mean, if I saw gold, I would have gone up to it. Who are we kidding?
Exactly. And there seems to be quite a bit of coinage here.
I'll take it.
All right. You take it. I'll let you know the exact number as soon as I can find that missing paper.
It's 700 gold, I think.
Oh, yeah. Is that what you think it is?
Yeah.
That Explorer's pack was actually a bag of holding.
Nice.
And it had 7 potions of major healing.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's like to be a dungeon master for Delve and Dash. Your party will tell you what they get. I love it. You guys are awesome. All right, so are you guys headed out to the front to take a short rest? You continuing on?
I think we're continuing on.
Okay. So as you move around the left, there is one more chamber with a pillar, and then it starts to slope downwards. And that's where we're going to end this week's episode of Delve and Dash, as you guys seem to be going deeper down into this hillside, into this cave lair that you guys have come across. It seems the frogs are still leading you in that direction. But you guys have survived an encounter. I shouldn't say it that way, because you guys were fine.
Franklin made the entire party feel a little uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's in his nature. That's that's socially awkward Franklin for you right there.
I mean, effigies are used to scare away things, so why not take the head and give it to the frogs?
Thank you, Victoria, for all the bits for us tonight. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Don't forget, next week we will not be streaming Delve and Dash. Next week I'll actually be away on vacation for Christmas break. So I apologize, but next week we will be off. And the following week we'll be back on. So we'll just take a week off, and then we'll be back and ready to go. So those of you that have been hanging out with us tonight, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Make sure you guys enjoy the holidays with friends and family, and play some D&D while you're at it. That's going to be fun. Anybody else have anything they want to shout out really quick before we head on offline?
Mystic
Merry
Hour
Christmas
going
to
live
everybody.
in 2 seconds.
What's that?
Mystic Hour going live tonight.
Yeah, Mystic Hour is going to be live tonight. I think they're tossing out a couple of different ideas about world building and things like that. So make sure you tune in to Mystic Hour.
I'm going to be there.
Oh wait, we got Stumpy from chat's going to be on Mystic Hour tonight.
The Stumpy from chat?
Oh, there we go.
No way.
Nice. Great. So yeah, make sure you guys tune in to Mystic Hour tonight here on Proficiency Bonus, and we will see you guys next time. But until then, have yourselves a happy holidays and Merry Christmas from all of us here at Delvin Dash. We love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and don't forget to add that Proficiency bonus. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
Bye.